The Detroit Pistons fought valiantly, but in the end, they couldn't stave off elimination. Watching their season come to an end, especially after so many emotional highs and lows throughout the series, was a tough pill to swallow. For those of us who adopted the Pistons as our team for the week, this felt like a particularly painful loss. Despite all their effort, the Pistons have still not won a home playoff game since 2008, a painful streak that adds a sense of frustration to the end of this year's playoff run. From the very start, the game had a familiar feel. Detroit trailed by 15 points early in the first half, but then Malik Beasley hit a clutch three-pointer right before halftime, surprising everyone and giving the Pistons a lead they weren't expected to have. In the heat of the moment, I found myself thinking, maybe, just maybe, they can force a Game 7. But as the second half started, the Pistons came out cold, struggling to find their rhythm. The New York Knicks took advantage, pushing the lead back to double digits, and it seemed as though the game and the Pistons' playoff hopes were slipping away. However, credit to the Pistons for showing incredible fight. Even with the odds stacked against them, Detroit refused to quit. They clawed their way back into the game, with Cade Cunningham coming alive in the third quarter, and Tim Hardaway Jr. knocking down big shots to keep them in it. The Pistons managed to build a 7-point lead at one point, and fans started to believe again. For a moment, it looked like Detroit might actually pull off the improbable upset. But then, as so often happens in close playoff games, the Pistons went cold again. They couldn't buy a basket, and the Knicks, who had missed 6 consecutive shots earlier in the quarter, finally found their groove again. It was the story of the series. Every time the Pistons seemed to gain control, the Knicks would respond. It wasn't long before the game was tied at 113 to 113. And at that moment, everyone knew exactly who was going to take the final shot for New York. Jalen Brunson, the recently named NBA Clutch Player of the Year, had been struggling throughout the fourth quarter, hitting just 3 of his first 13 attempts. But as a true closer does, he found a way to finish. With the game on the line, Brunson hit a game-winning three-pointer, his 40th point of the night, sealing the victory for the Knicks. In that moment, all the struggles and missed shots earlier in the game seemed forgotten. It was the definition of a clutch performance, and Brunson's poise under pressure was a reminder of why he's considered one of the league's top finishers. The final shot was a thing of beauty, with Brunson shaking off the defense of Thompson, who had been playing remarkable defense throughout the game. Thompson had been locked in on Brunson earlier, even stopping him on a previous possession. But in that moment, Brunson's experience and composure were too much. He found just enough space to get the shot off, and with ice in his veins, he buried the three-pointer. Watching that final possession over and over, you can't help but admire the determination and skill that Brunson displayed, even as his shooting struggles persisted throughout the night. That moment encapsulated what it means to be a clutch player, someone who can rise above the chaos and deliver when everything is on the line. Brunson's game winner wasn't just about the shot, but about his ability to stay confident and execute when his team needed him most. It was a performance that will go down in Knicks lore, and it capped off an incredible 40-point effort that secured the series for New York. Despite the loss, the Pistons' fight throughout the series was commendable. They weren't just pushing the Knicks, they were forcing them to earn every victory. The Knicks may have been the better team, but Detroit's resilience made every game a battle. The Pistons kept coming back, no matter how big the Knicks' lead was, whether it was in Game 2, where the Pistons won by 6, or in Game 3 and Game 4, where the Knicks narrowly eked out victories by just 2 and 1 point, respectively. Detroit proved that they could compete with the best. Even in Game 5, when the Pistons won by 3, they showed that they were far from an easy out. The series wasn't a free ride for the Knicks. Every victory came with serious effort, and Detroit's determination made it clear that they had the ability to upset a more experienced team. This series was an eye-opener for many, showcasing that the Pistons, despite their youth and inexperience, were capable of pushing the Knicks to the brink of elimination. One of the standout aspects of this series was how the Knicks handled adversity. Too often, in playoff basketball, we see the better team shrink in the face of physicality and pressure. But New York didn't do that. They fought back every time Detroit came charging, and they showed mental toughness when the